Hello, everyone. Welcome back to class. Today, we are going to stop just talking about definitions and actually do the work. We are going to become the accountants for a real business scenario. Let's look at our story for today. Our client is Mr. Alex. He owns a business called Apex Trading Co., dealing in electronic goods. The timeline is January 2024. Our goal? To record his transactions for the month. Now, before we touch the numbers, look at the key tips on the screen. These are the traps or students usually get stuck, so let's clear them up right now. Tip number 1, goods versus assets. If Mr. Alex buys electronics to resell, that is a purchase account. But if he buys a chair to sit on in the office, that is an asset account. Do not mix them up. Tip number 2, credit transactions. If you see a company name, like Global Tech, but you don't see the word cash, assume he hasn't paid yet. That is a credit transaction. And tip number 3, payment mode. If you see check, use the bank account. If you see cash, use the cash account. Simple, right? All right, let's look at the full problem. We have a full month of activity here, starting the business, buying, selling, and paying bills. Don't let the long list scare you. We are going to tackle this step by step. Let's handle the first few days. On January 1st, Mr. Alex starts the business with $100,000 in cash. Pause. The logic is simple. Cash comes in, so we debit cash. The owner is the giver, so we credit capital. On January 2nd, he opens a bank account. He moves $40,000 from the cash safe to the bank. So the bank balance goes up, debit bank. The cash balance goes down, credit cash. On January 3rd, watch out, he buys furniture. Is furniture goods? No, it's for office use. So we debit furniture, not purchases. We paid cash, so credit cash. On January 5th, now he buys goods. Since these are for resale, we finally use the purchases account. Debit purchases, credit cash. Okay, moving into the second week, things are getting a little more complex. On January 7th, we buy goods from Global Tech, but we don't pay yet. Goods come in, debit purchases, but who is the giver? Global Tech. We credit them because now we owe them money. This is a liability. On January 8th, we buy a computer for the office using a check. A computer is an asset, debit computer. A check means money leaves the bank, so credit bank. Now, let's make some money. On January 10th, we sell goods for cash. Cash comes in, debit cash. Goods go out, credit sales. On January 12th, we sell to Miss Sarah on credit. She takes the goods but hasn't paid, so Miss Sarah is the receiver, debit her account. We recognize the income, credit sales. Sometimes things go wrong. Let's talk about returns. On January 14th, we realize some goods from Global Tech are defective, so we send $2,000 worth back. We debit Global Tech because they're receiving the goods back, and this reduces what we owe them. We credit purchase return. On January 16th, Miss Sarah returns damaged goods to us. Goods come back in, debit sales return. Sarah is the giver, so credit her account. This reduces what she owes us. Now, it is time to settle our debts. Pay attention to the math here. On January 20th, we pay Global Tech. We bought $25,000 worth. We returned $2,000. That leaves $23,000 to pay. We pay cash, so debit Global Tech to close the account and credit cash as the money leaves. On January 22nd, Miss Sarah pays us. She bought $12,000. She returned $1,000. She owes us $11,000. We receive a check, so debit bank because our balance goes up, and credit Miss Sarah because she has settled her debt. We're in the final stretch. Let's handle the monthly expenses. On January 25th, Mr. Alex takes $2,000 cash for personal use. Remember, personal use is called drawings. Debit drawings, credit cash. On January 28th, we paid the electric bill with cash. Expenses are always debited. Debit electric, credit cash. And finally, on January 30th, we pay staff salaries by check. Debit salaries expense, credit bank. And that's it. You have successfully journalized a full month of business transactions for Apex Trading. You handled assets, credit purchases, returns, and settlements. If you followed along with that, you have mastered the golden rules of accounting. Excellent work today.